Start streaming. Hopefully that's gonna start streaming. Meant to start right at 7. I'm about 6 minutes late. My excuse is my computer had to update, which is the truth. All right. We should be going live fairly soon. If not, at the moment. Let's see. Hopefully things are starting up. As you can see, we've got the resin poured to make that shiny. It didn't come out as purple as I was hoping. I used most of a bottle of contrast. Well, not most. I used a considerable amount of a bottle of contrast paint to dye the resin, which should have given it a purplish tint. It kind of did on like the thinner parts, and hopefully there will be some places where I can show you, but it does make everything look wet and swampy. So even though I didn't quite get the perfect resin pour, it still works. We're still happy. I'm not mad. These guys still look great. Real nice thin layer of resin too, mostly because things were leaking a little bit, if I'm honest. So we gotta kind of trim off the excess here, which is fine. Don't mind it too much. Yeah, so just gonna clean these up, then paint all the base rims. And don't think that it's just the big guys that I gotta do, because I poured resin on all of the bases, from Hobgrots to the Shamans to the Gut Rippers. Everything got a bit of resin on the old base, so makes them look unified. Only takes forever. Should I be using gloves? I don't know. It's cured resin. It'll probably be fine. I can't imagine it going like tragic. But if I get some sort of weird disease, then at least we'll know what caused it. So there's that solace to be had. I hope everybody out there is doing good. It's Thursday, basically Friday. I've survived so many tech issues at my job. All of them which make me want to scream in varying degrees of frustration. But you know what? It's fine. It's just fine. I'm not angry. I'm chill about it. It's not worth getting upset over or anything like that. It's just fine. And hopefully tomorrow goes smoothly. Have a good Friday at work, and then, you know, a couple other things to do, and then back in some work training for a couple more months. It'll be good. Getting some more practice in, and then, you know, gearing up for a real job. So you can see on this piece the purple tint came through, so maybe I just needed a different like base color underneath it or something, but it's vaguely purple in some areas. That's the best that I can do, apparently. I guess I could have tried painting the ground purple, or if I had wanted to experiment, could have done a few more things. I didn't do a few more things. And that's okay. sometimes I don't want to do it all. I just want to do enough to make it look cool. Hi, Hector. Hi, baby. Can you not scratch my chair, please? That would be great. It'd be so great if you could just not do that. But I'm gonna get some paint mixed up so I can get nice dark brown color and start painting like a lot of base rims. Like a lot. So I got a lot of those to do. It's not going to be the most interesting thing in the world to paint. Hopefully we can at least have some decent conversation and I can make it more interesting to watch. That's what we'll be going for. And ideally we get the base rims painted up nice and fast, all on one stream. I don't think anyone wants to watch multiple streams of base rim painting, but, you know, I like to think you're here for my winning personality and some good conversation. So we'll see if we can mix up that same nice dark brown color that we got on the palette. And then, you know, the work of painting all of the base rims again so that they're nice and clean, and the kind of mess that I made with painting or pouring the resin won't show as much. That's the ideal. But for now it is grabbing the right browns and hoping to get the approximate color that we need. I usually use black and Mournfang brown. I am running out of Mournfang brown because I don't pour out of the pot nearly as efficiently as I could. I'm sure if I had dropper bottles and not these damn Citadel time capsules that they put their paint in. Actually, that's wrong. Time capsule would imply that this helps to preserve the paint for any length of time. I don't love these paint pots. Let me just put it like that. I don't think they're ever going to change their paint pot design. If they were going to move to dropper bottles, I feel like they would have done it by now. But nope, we get these beautiful, weird little horrible things to deal with. I'm just going to scrape as much paint to mix into that black out of here as I can. I will also try not to talk incessantly about Star Wars. I did finish Book of Boba Fett the other day, and I really liked it, so I want to talk about that, but not everybody has a chance to have seen it yet, so I'll just wait for that, give people a couple more days. I have no patience to not watch things live. I've already started watching, I'm doing a rewatch of Disenchantment, because I know that the new episodes just dropped for a new season. And usually I would just watch the new stuff immediately, because I have no freaking patience. But I actually do forget most of the plot of Disenchantment. I haven't watched that series in a while, so I have an actual reason to do a rewatch before the new season, which is nice. Get that kind of going. It holds up well enough. I think it's still funny the second time around. And then, of course, I've been making my way through the Clone Wars. And I keep, like, knowing characters' names and then being like, isn't that guy a bad guy? And they're like, yeah. At this point in the series, people just don't know that yet. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, the whole Jedi government thing, Jedi government is I don't know what the actual, like, government agency in Star Wars is called. But it's all run by Palpatine. And I'm like, oh, I mean, he looks his character design does make him look sinister. And, like, I remember the name Palpatine, and I'm, like, messaging my friend, and I'm like, yo, isn't this a bad guy? And he's like, yeah, LOL, he is. Also, Darth Vader is Luke's father, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I knew that one. But apparently there's a lot of stuff in the Star Wars films that I've just forgotten over the years. So, that's fun. I guess you can kind of see the difference when the base rim is painted. You can see that brown up top is slightly purple. So that's good. That painting the base rim seems to bring that out. Or maybe the resin cures more, or the lighting's different and it makes it look purple. I don't know. There's a slight purple twinge. Tinge? I think tinge is the correct word, not twinge. But, yeah. Finishing up the base rims on these models means that the only task I have left to accomplish with these guys is I have 3 Bolt Boys to paint, and then the whole army, whole 2,000 points is done. But those Bolt Boys will get done. Just gonna take a slight break from painting Cruel Boys after this, because I've painted a lot of Cruel Boys over the past few weeks. And I could do with, you know, 1 or 2 non-Cruel Boys projects in between. Maybe I could actually finish the Snake Lady. Or, something else. I could buy those Tau I've been talking about buying, which I think I will buy at this point. Have fun ideas for them. And I'm excited to make some progress on those ideas. Could be cool. Haven't decided which Tau. I feel like I'll just go into my local game store and follow my heart, and that will lead me to the correct Tau product, which is, you know, maybe not the most efficient or budget-friendly option when shopping for GW products to, quote-unquote, let my heart decide. But, I mean, it's not like I'm going to pick a vehicle. And I think Tau have probably good vehicles for combat, but also pricey, both in terms of point cost and in terms of real money that you have to pay for them. But I don't really love painting vehicles, so I don't think that's what I'm gonna pick. I'll probably pick, like, some Pathfinders or a Commander or something like that. Something that's like a guy, you know? That's what I'm hoping for anyway. It does depend on what my local place stocks, and hopefully they have some Tau. I try to support local, but if they don't have anything in stock, I'll buy off the internet. My store used to be really good about being able to ship things in, too, from GW, but I don't know what happened with GW supply. It got real slow. And they don't get product in as fast as they used to, so if they don't have it in, it's more time efficient for me to actually purchase it online, which is a shame. I don't know what changed, but I hope that they will get their faster shipping back someday soon. That'd be good. Good for all parties involved. Mostly doesn't matter, so long as I can get my Tau, I'll be happy. Alright. That was the easy part, painting the big guys' bases. Now we have like 1 trillion little guys to paint. I'm not kidding. There's a whole box of them. Where am I putting them once their base rims are done being painted? That's an excellent question. I just have little plastic bags that I am setting up on top of my hobby desk. Completely vulnerable to cats. Hopefully we'll be lucky and they won't jump up here. But you never know with these guys. They're some chaos boys. But I've got a whole box of them to get through. I did try and put some resin like along the poison thing. How many rims to paint? I don't know. I haven't counted, but it is 2 squads of gut rippers, which is 10 to a squad, so 20 plus 40 hobgrots, so 20 and 40 is 60. I just finished doing the 3 big guys, which is 3. I've got this swamp koala and his pot grot, which is 2. So like 65 base rims to paint. Roughly counting. I consider 65. Why would I say that out loud? Yeah, that is kind of inviting chaos, isn't it? I don't know. No one was asking me any other questions, so I had to fill time. I had to invite chaos into the world. Also, hello, welcome to the stream. Hi, Anno. It's way too late for you to be up and watching this stream, but I'm delighted to have you, and it's good to see you. One of these days, I have the 18th, Friday, off from work, so I could stream at a reasonable hour for our international friends. If I have the wherewithal to do that, and if I feel like doing it, I might. But I did the resin pours on all of the bases. They didn't come out quite as purple as I would have liked, even though I used a considerable amount of contrast dye. They just kind of look shiny, and that's fine. You know, not everything turns out perfect, and I'm fine with that. I did dip most of the spears in the resin, so I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but they have a nice, like, slightly purple tint to them, which looks amazing. It looks so good, and it perfectly depicts the venom-encrusted weapons property. But yeah, there's quite a few bases to paint, so that's what I'm gonna do. The resin will kind of eat away at it if it spills over the edge, or it will just, you know, it'll make it look not as nice. So I like to do a second coat after the resin pour. I don't, like, seal up each base the way you can if you're generally pouring resin. I just kind of dab some resin onto each base to make it look vaguely swampy. It does the job. Hi, Goober. Welcome to the chat. I took a photo of it because I knew it was never going to survive just me throwing it into my box. But there was one orc who had, oh no, he did survive, guys. Look at this. I don't know how well this is going to show up, but he just has this perfect little drop off of his spear of, like, resin. It's so good. Like, I love this. I didn't try to do this intentionally. Let me see. I think I'm not holding it onto the camera well enough. I'm gonna see if I can get that. Yeah, but you can see right there, there's like a little bead of purple resin. And it's hanging from his blade. And it looks sick as hell. And that is the definition of a happy accident. Because I did not intend that at all. I fully expect it to break off at some point in time. But for as long as that stays and holds and just looks cool, it's going to stay and hold and look cool. Because I'm so pleased with it. I wish it had happened on other models or orcs that I had painted that I kind of liked the face of better. But this guy, just by sheer happenstance, got it. that is the beauty of working on batches. Sometimes, for no particular reason, one little guy is just like, excuse me, I'm gonna be special and cool. So this is our happy little accident. He's got this cool little drop hanging off his spear. I wouldn't change him or have it any other way. I love when shit like that happens. Like 65 different models that I poured resin on, and he's the only one to get a little drop. That's cool. He's unique in a sea of similar models. We can appreciate him for that. And I hope he's able to keep that drop forever. I don't think he will be. I'm sure that I'm not careful enough with my models and that it'll eventually snap off, but for as long as I have it, I'm excited about it. Some of them have this extra little lip of resin on the base that I have to peel off. Again, probably should be using gloves to do that, but at least as far as I'm aware, it's all fully cured. And I'm not gonna like stick my fingers in my mouth after this and just swallow resin, so I'll be fine. I should be fine anyway. But you can see how like peeling off those extra little lips of resin just completely peels away any paint that I put on the base before. Lobster, don't even think about it, sir. Go away. This is not the day to jump up on the hobby desk. Not today. There's too much at stake. I will not risk it just so that you can get where you want to go. No. No. Apparently the sound of crinkly paper was enough to spook him. Just a little bit, so that he didn't try and get up here, so we'll employ that, and if worse comes to worse, I'll get the dreaded tin foil, which all of my cats fear. Don't know what it is about tin foil, that they're just like, nope, can't do this, but they hate it. Hate the sound, probably the texture as well. Any of you guys working on any interesting hobby projects tonight? What's on your desks? Hopefully something fun. I know that, Goober, you've been working on those alien tiles. Those have been turning out pretty good. Anno, frankly, I have no idea how you would even hobby this late at night, so I'm not gonna assume anything. Sorry, keep having to scare Lobster away so he doesn't jump on the desk. It's probably not all too pleasant a sound of me just crinkling paper, but tonight it's a necessary one. You're adding pipes to the industrial area of your alien planet tiles. Very cool. Very cool. Are these like 3D printed? Are they from one of the GW kits? I know a lot of those have like pipe pieces to them. Something in me wanted to say Zone Mortalis, but I'm like, I don't even know if that's a kit or if that's just a word I read once in a White Dwarf magazine or something like that. But if it is Zone Mortalis, then that phrase lived rent-free in my head until I could reference it correctly. So that's pretty impressive. It's gotta be something. I'm sure I've read that in GW somewhere. Hector, you're much harder to discourage from jumping on the desk. And you're scratching, again, at this blanket, protecting my legs from your scratches. You just printed a batch. You have a couple from Dungeons and Lasers, plus various other weird bits, wires and straws. that's the way with kit bashing and building terrain from scratch, isn't it? I had all this lying around. If I needed something specific, I got it, but mostly it's just the garbage that I had on hand. I love that energy. I found a Kickstarter for some really cool terrain that I'm talking to someone about getting printed. And then maybe I'll do some terrain painting videos. Alright, so this is one of the other orcs that I have. Painted him before. And you can see that the purple on his base shows up a little bit better. And I don't know if I just dyed that particular batch of resin more correctly or what, but I am going to just redo the base rim on him so that it is the correct color, which actually takes me up from 65 base rims to some other stupid high number that I'm not going to count to. Probably like 80 or something. I don't know. I don't even know if I have room for 80 bases to sit on top of my desk. It's essentially a whole army at this point. But, you know, you want it to be mostly uniform, so everything's gotta have as much the same colors as you can get it. And I feel like a lot of that is the base rim. Let's see. You have a prime diorama project in the garage, but you're currently blind. And don't underestimate your tendency to do stuff at way too late an hour. How could I ever? We're gonna focus on the orcs for now, I think, because finding space for all these hobgrots, hopefully we'll have, you know, some dried base rims and we can shift things around before we start on 40 hobgrots. Because they're going to take up some room. Did I underpaint the bases in purple? No, I didn't, like a dummy. I could have. Or I could glaze purple over the top if I wanted to. But honestly, I'll be real with you. I'm fucking done with working on these crew boys once I get the base rims painted. That is as much effort as I want to put into one project at this time. I had goals, and this was every goal that I had set out to do, to feel like these were the way that I wanted to paint them from the start. So this is the last step that I had in mind, and I'm not too keen on adding extra steps right now. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm right, so you'll get going. Have a wonderful show. Thank you. I appreciate that you always stop by, even when you should be asleep. Please, for the love of God, get some rest. You scare me, Anno. You scare me. Yeah, underpainting them in purple probably would have been smart, but here we are, not doing the smart things. And that's okay. They have a slight purple tint to them, and that is gonna be enough for me. I'm sure I could, like, run some contrast paint over the top of the resin. Maybe I'll do that someday, but today is not that day. You don't have to apologize. You're fine. You're absolutely fine. I don't have the insomnia powers I used to in college. Sometimes I miss being able to, like, stay up till 4 a.m. like it was nothing. Still go to class the next day. With work, I can't do that. I have no ability for that. Hindsight is 20/20? Yeah. You know what? If I ever decide that I'm doing an army with Grape Soda Swamp as their basing scheme, I'll be sure to make sure that I do a little bit of purple underpainting. But I can't see myself doing that anytime soon. So these are going to be as good as it gets, and that's fine. I have no problem with being like, yup, and that is as far as I wanted to take this, you know? I don't feel like I have to correct every single mistake that I make, because I like actually finishing the projects that I start. I know, unique for the Warhammer hobby. Finishing, not so much. But, you know, I've kind of got my sights set on starting a Tau army for some reason, so I guess that'll be my next personal project. I don't know, maybe I'll do 1 or 2 videos about painting Tau and paint a few on stream. But, yeah, I think it's good. As much as I have stuff that I like painting for the channel, I like to have, you know, things that I paint for myself. Like, if I were to choose projects for what to paint on stream, I don't think, hey, watch me work on my Cruel Boys army for several weeks straight is the most engaging footage, but I didn't choose that because I thought it would be entertaining, so I just chose it because that's what I had to paint. That's the army I was working on, so that's what you guys get to watch. You're not a captive audience. You can wander free at any point if it gets boring. So I'll do my best to keep you entertained with Cruel Boys, but I make no promises. It's gonna be the gift that keeps on giving as I just reach into the never-ending box of orcs. The opposite of a problem. It always feels like I have too few orcs as opposed to too many, at least in battles. Because I will lose orcs before I even know what's happening. Can't believe that this is it for my 1,500 points for my escalation league. Like, I don't have to hurriedly decide what I'm gonna add to my list next time. It's a little sad. Although I am very excited to show these off to my hobby group and be like, look guys, all those ambitious plans that I had for how I was going to paint and finish this army, I did it. It all happened. They all got done. I'll definitely report to you guys on how it goes for best painted and stuff like that. I think I've got a good shot. And adding the resin to the bases certainly gives them a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of interest. And I can't quite remember what our final day of Escalation League is, because I know that there's a couple weeks that we have to skip for store events and stuff like that, but should be soon. And then I'll get to let you guys know how it all shook out. Although, with the standings the way that they are, I don't think there's any result that's going to happen that's not Nurgle winning. And I've tried my best to counteract that result, as you can imagine. I didn't want to just lay down and let Nurgle have it, but admittedly, I could not defeat our Nurgle player when I last faced him, so I gave it my all, but in the end, well, it's not the end yet, but I haven't been able to win against Nurgle, and that does hurt my heart in a way that I can't put into words too good. He said, get me some stackable plastic tubs. Yeah, that's probably a really good transport option. I do need to upgrade from the cardboard box. I was looking at like foam and stuff like that. Because I feel like they could do a bit better. But I haven't quite picked what system I want to use for transport. I'll find something eventually that feels right, Everwald, but plastic tubs is probably a pretty cost-effective one. Most of the time, when they're not, in constant transport for battle, they just live in my display case, which is a very good home for them, and they seem to like it. But, when you're going back and forth every 2 weeks from storage to army, like, on the move, it doesn't make sense to put them up and let people see them. I haven't actually taken a look at my army altogether. So after these base rims are done, it's also going to be me, like, seeing them for the first time, which is exciting. I did not paint the little reeds on this guy's base. We can fix that. We can fix that right now. That's a fixable problem. You know? Just gonna quickly dab on some paint. They're not going to be beautiful, but they will be done. And that's better than them sitting there looking starkly unpainted. Don't quite know how I didn't catch that before, but we caught it now. Boop. There we go. All fixed up. Nobody will ever know except the people who are watching this stream. It'll be our little secret. Don't tell anyone. So I know Goober's working on alien tiles. Everwald, if you're still here and watching, thanks for tuning in, of course, but are you working on anything tonight? Do you have anything cool on your hobby desk? I'd love to know. Oh, we do also have a Discord server for anyone who hasn't joined up. Let me just post a link to that in the chat while I remember to do that and be good and efficient at coordinating a little community. But I can get a link. I will copy that, send it over. That way, anybody who has something you want me to see, or you want to show me, or you want to chat with us about the dumb names in Star Wars, Discord's the place to do it. Got a good little group there. So it's quite fun. Talk about all kinds of stuff. And it's a great place to share cat photos. I've seen other people's cats now, in addition to my own having their photos posted there. So if you like cat photos and have nothing better to do, it's good for that too. Everybody has such cute cats, and I get to ask everybody what their cats' names are. It's a passion of mine. I love finding out that people have weird names for their animals. Like, someone the other day told me their cat's name was Pound Cake, and it made my entire day better. And it was, like, objectively not a good day. So thank you, owner of Pound Cake the cat. You made me smile. Which is good. I don't think I'm ever gonna have a pet that has, like, you know, it's just gonna be called Fluffy or something. I don't think I have it in me. I don't want all the weird names in this world exist. There's too many good ones out there. Still so many orcs to get through. Ugh. I don't call them horde armies for no reason. Let me tell you. I can know that I've painted 40 of a thing, or 20 of a thing, but that's different than suddenly staring it in the face. Being like, oh yeah, there are 20 of these models now that I own. I painted with my own 2 little goblin hands. That's kind of cool. If I wanted to, I could buy another Dominion box at a huge discount because all the stores are trying to get rid of them. And then I could have even more orcs, but I think maybe, probably, we're good on orcs for now. Once I hit the 20 or 30 mark. Ideally 40 for infantry would have been what I was trying to reach, but I think 30 should do me just fine. Then, you know. Because then if I get 40 orcs, I'll want 60 hobgrots, and that's a whole other painting project. And we don't need to go down that road again. I think 30 orcs will do us fine. Until I get my butt kicked at 2,000 points too much, and then I'm like, nope, 30 isn't good enough anymore. Gotta have whatever the big leagues are packing. I think Cruel Boys have done pretty decently on the tournament circuit, but I think it's mostly people who are running big yellers with a bunch of crossbows. I would have liked to have figured out how to incorporate gummy worms onto their bases, but I just, the couple of experiments I tried didn't seem to work out, so that is too bad. Maybe in the future I will figure out the secret to that and can implement it going on down the road. If you've ever had to make a gummy worm for a miniature base, highly niche, but do let me know. I'd be interested in as to how you pulled that off, because I can't quite sculpt them to scale. That's beyond my ability, and most pre-made worms or anything like that are just going to be too big. They're not going to be at the right scale. I did a bit of searching, but I didn't find anything, and I tried to sculpt a few, but it didn't work out. And I forgot to turn off the noise on my phone. I apologize. Let me take care of that. It's gotta be unpleasant. Still quite the pile that we've got to get through. There's a lot of them. Excellent. Now that should be silent, so we should be good. No further interruptions. But you can see in this box, still quite a lot. All of the grots, a couple of the orcs. It's gonna take some time. And it's a shame that out of 30 orcs, I only have one banner bearer because they do not come standard in your Dominion box set of orcs. It would have been nice if they did. I would have painted more checkers, more banners. Sure you guys know that about me by now, but it seems that I can never stop putting checker patterns on things. You know what? I'll make a pact right here and now. When I get those the towel that I plan to get, there will be no checker patterns. There can be other patterns. Maybe some stripes or some polka dots or something like that. But there will be absolutely, positively, nowhere on any of the towel will there be checkerboard. These will be anti-checker towel. Not gonna happen. No checkers in sight. I think checkers should be solidly reserved for my other armies that I already chose to have dumb color schemes with, because some of my 40k orcs have checkers, and all of my 40k admech have checkers. So if I'm doing another 40k army, no more checks. That's it. End of the line. For checkers. Might try some airbrushing. So I should polish up on some airbrush like technique videos. I know a lot of people have some like beginner airbrush content type things. If you know any good ones, you should tell me so that I can check those out. Maybe gain a little bit of confidence. It's something like I want to do. It's one of those things where I'm like, oh, I should practice with this expensive tool that I own, but then I just don't do it. But like I really should get around to that, because there's no point in owning an airbrush and never using it. That's just a waste of space and money. So I gotta just, you know, get the guts worked up and tackle that next phase of hobby achievement. I am, in fact, running out of room to put orcs on the top of my desk. I knew this would happen, but we are running out of orcs in the box. We're starting to have less orcs and more grots, so that's positive. It's positive. We're making some progress. At least everybody's gonna have the same base rim color. Hopefully I don't run out of paint. I have to mix up a new batch, because then they might have slightly different base rim colors, which isn't as uniform. But you know, it works. It works. Having each orc be slightly different isn't... I mean, they're all slightly different in terms of I painted each of them in different batches, and although I used the same paint recipe, I was probably in different moods at the time, so there's a bit of variation, I'm sure, but by and large they all look the same. But you can see that the like brown on these original ones was a bit darker, a bit closer to black, or at least that's how it dried. It does dry a little bit darker than it goes painted on, but I think even then this is fairly dark and I have a lighter brown mixed up. So it's good that I'm going back and redoing these bases so that everybody gets along and they look good together. They are all part of the same army, so you'd hope that they'd get along. I need to grab another plastic bag and find somewhere to put it down to protect the wood, because there is no more room on the ones I have set out. Running out of room to put orcs. Have a whole thing of plastic bags close to hand, so got another one. There we go. He'll sit on that. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab a drink of water. 'Cause I did not grab my water bottle, and my throat's getting dry, so there's my box to go through. Sitting right on the desk there, and I will be back shortly. Hopefully the desk will still be intact and the cats won't have destroyed anything. Alright. Got some water. Hydrating like a responsible adult. So far, so good in terms of cat nonsense. Although that might be jinxing myself. Who knows? Who knows with these chaos babies? I have to remember to put all of this away, too, when I'm done. Fortunately, paint doesn't take least model paint doesn't seem to take that long to dry, so should be able to put these guys safely away tonight so that the cat won't get to them. I can take some better photos in the morning with some natural light. I think will do them some good. I think that's what the professionals want to photograph in. Don't always have the opportunity, of course. Not everybody can't guarantee a sunny day or cloudy day or whatever makes for the best photography conditions, but we can hope. We can try. I have a lot of leftover resin from this project too, so I'm gonna have to find some other things lying around that need a little bit of resin to enhance them. If you guys have any ideas of what maybe some cool resin things that I could do is, you should let me know, and I'd love to try and tackle them. I do have some Townsfolk Tussle minis that I'm working on, but I don't know if that resin is the look I want for any of them in particular. Then other painting projects, I have a bunch of random 3D prints lying around. I don't think extra resin is a good enough excuse to pick up Ideneth Deepkin, but it's definitely something I considered. Yeah, similar to Tau. Well, not actually similar to Tau. Tau just became a recent, yeah, I've got to have this, but I've always kind of eyed Ideneth Deepkin and been like, oh, those are cool. The lore of them is really cool. The Namarti Thralls I don't really love the models of, but I love all the big sea creatures. They're pretty cool. I don't know, like, how much infantry you need as opposed to stuff like the eel guys, because I don't play Ideneth yet, but I think if I had to pick an order army, it's doubtless I'd go with Ideneth Deepkin. They're just too cool to not choose. So many different ways you can paint them too, because sea creatures are weird. And some, like, really, really cool deep sea Ideneth, I think, could look good with, like, extremely pale skin, like, glowing yellow eyes, like they're anglerfish, and then all of the eels and, hippocampus-looking things, they're all, like a dark navy. I think it would be badass. Plus, then you could dab some actual glow-in-the-dark paint on some of the bits. Obviously nobody would know because you're not going to be playing Blacklight Warhammer or anything like that. But you'd know as the painter. And that would be cool. That would be cool. Love these Bolt Boy models. They're so much fun. They've got such a nice, like, bit of fabric on the back, which worked well for me painting the zebra stripes on there. Painted these a while ago, but they were super fun. It's gonna be nice that I'll be finishing out the army with 3 more Bolt Boys. It's gonna feel good. My friend Shane bought into the Cruel Boys army just because he was excited to have orcs that could do shooting. I don't know if he's super happy with the end, like, stat profile of the Bolt Boys or not, but he definitely purchased a Dominion box just because he was like, Bolt Boys might be fun. He has an Ironjaw's army, which is cool. They seem a lot tankier than Cruel Boys. Like those Boar Boys, they don't mess around at all. They're pretty intense. I've seen them take out quite a few things. And he's given the guy at the top of our escalation league with Nurgle, he's given him quite the scare or two, so I guess I could have looked at adding some Iron Jaws units, but kind of like that my army's pure Cruel Boys. Feels cool. Although, you know, that does just mean I bought all of the new models that GW made, so I don't know what that says from like a consumerist capitalist perspective. Probably not the best thing in the world. That's okay. I can live with myself. I don't even know if all of these will fit in my display case. There's so many of them. Hopefully they will. I'll try and make them fit. I'm not gonna like shove them in there or anything, but I'll try. It's quieter in the chat than usual. Must be a calm Thursday or a busy Thursday for folks. You either aren't too talkative or mellow, which is cool. We love a relaxing evening. Or everybody's super busy and they're doing other projects. Guess I'll never know either way, but hope that everybody's doing good. I think a couple people last Thursday I had D&D, so I was busy. Thursday's kind of like that weird, not quite Friday, not quite, you know. Sometimes Thursdays don't actually feel that bad, and then sometimes it's like, how is it only Thursday? Should have been Saturday by now. A couple of my friends and I have been playing Borderlands. I'm doing that for the first time. I've never played Borderlands before. It's okay. It's very repetitive. Hey, Kraz, nice to see you here. Good evening to you too. It's been a pretty quiet one. I don't know where the chaos went in our channel, but Anno has already been here and gone to bed, so who knows if he'll be back later or not. But the usual chaos has dulled down a little bit. I'll have to be counting on you with Kraz in your name and the whole crazy mad scientist thing. Gotta liven it up a little bit for everybody. How are you doing? How are your 3D printing projects coming along? I think I've painted all of the orc bases that I had to paint. And now I will be painting Hobgrot bases till I've run out of Hobgrots, which is going to be a later rather than sooner thing because there are so dang many Hobgrots. I tried to paint them to look like those strawberry bonbon candies that old ladies give out, or, you know, there's a stereotype of old ladies giving out. I think those candies are freaking awesome, so I wouldn't complain, but I guess some people do. You normally run D&D Thursdays, but you've been super tired today, and now you're feeling oh, that's not good. Oh no! I hope food fixes it too. Feeling not under the weather in any world is bad, but lately, like, you know, with our world being in the big old panini, anytime I felt even vaguely sick, I've just been like, this is it, guys. This is the end. I've caught the plague. It was nice knowing ya. It's time for me to go, you know? Which is unrealistic. Like, I'm in good health physically, if not mentally. But yeah, I hope that gets better. I struggle even when I have like a minor headache or something like that to feel 100%. And I'm one of those people, if I have to do my job and I have if I have time off and like I have a headache and I have sick days left, I'll just take it. I'm like, yep, I'm not at my best. Bye guys, see you later. Like it's bad. You too need to paint some base rims. Well, Josh, get to painting. I'm doing 40 Hobgrot bases, and I just did like 30 some orc ones. I've lost count. We've cranked through a lot. I've been painting base rims for an hour. Gosh. Yeah. They take a little bit. You'd think, oh, it's just the base rim. That's easy. You just slap a coat of paint on it and boom, done. But whew, horde armies, let me tell you. Sometimes you wake up and diagnose yourself with sleepy tired and you gotta stay home. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. I work from home though, so sometimes even if I am sleepy tired, if I can crawl my way to my desk and then like halfway through be like, nah, I'm not really feeling it, I'll do a half day. Sometimes I make myself do that, but most of the time, if I got the sick time, I'm gonna use the sick time. Ooh, yeah. You always have 18 things going on, Kraz. I hope you're able to decide which of those to prioritize so you still get to have a little bit of fun. Did you submit your Frost Giant for that competition? I hope you did. I'm cheering for it. Oh, okay. Base rim done. Wow, Josh. Wow, only one base rim? So quick. Thanks. Thanks for that. Good. You submitted your Frost Giant. Excellent. Excellent. I'm hoping it does well. No one commented? Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks. I haven't been on Instagram much today, so if you did post it to Instagram, I will try and remember to go and look and leave a like and a comment on it. Your base rim was started yesterday and you finished painting it today? It was the ranger with the cat. Ah, yeah. That was really cool. I really like how much detail you put into that cat's eye. I was impressed. I was impressed. Ah, okay. Submit via Facebook or Discord. Well, then no wonder I didn't see it. I don't think I'm on Cast and Play's Discord. Insta's like the only thing I post to because it takes so little effort for me to just snap a photo and be like, yes, Instagram, here. I'll tag it with like 3 things and then be done. I don't think I could maintain a blog. I think I would, I'd get distracted and forget that I was supposed to be posting anything to it. Much like my old defunct Tumblr blogs. I would just share stuff that other people did. Like, oh, here is a funny meme that I did not make. Can't say I was ever much of one for generating the blogging content, but I know that you maintain yours fairly regularly. So hope that your giant write-up goes well when you do that. Gets a lot of views or likes or whatever your blogging platform measures content with. I am realizing that there's no way that the amount of paint that I have left in that is going to be enough for all of the hobgrot bases. But I'm going to delude myself into thinking that it could be. You're learning the world of blogging still, but it's growing at least. Hey, that counts for something. Yeah, I think you told me that the only direction you got on that mini was that the guy wanted it to have a black cat. See, this turned out good. This cauldron, I'm happy with. Because you can see that the resin's set in the cauldron. It makes it look all liquidy. I think that looks good. Should have had some of it dripping down along the drippy bit, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. We ain't going back. We're just soldiering on forward. He still looks good. He's still a happy little pot grot. Got his big backpack of supplies. You can stand by the swamp, call a shaman. Help him with the backup stabber. That backup stabber has killed things before. I wouldn't say he's the best model on the tabletop, but old pot grots come through for me a time or two when I needed him to. Can't be discounting pot grot's abilities. Fun fact about the blog. So far, the month of February has already had more traffic, 10 days, than 11 out of 12 months of the last year. That's fantastic. Wow. That's so good to hear. I'm glad it's been a good month for your blog. I'm hoping that the video I'm working on to put out in February will do well. Ideally, I'd like to get back into like a bi-weekly video schedule. I think that works pretty well. Don't know if I'm quite there yet, but I'm trying. We'll see. We'll see. Pretty happy with the last video. It didn't do so well in the views scheme of things, but that's fine. I was proud of the content that I made, and that's all that matters to me right now. I'm lucky I get to say that because I am not currently in a position where I do this for a living and need the view count to matter too much. So I can still just make whatever I feel passionately about, which is good. As long as a couple people see my stuff, they're nice enough to let me know that it connected to them, which I've gotten a few messages about actually, which is really, really sweet. That's enough for me. But I hope your blog gets huge, Kraz. People from all over the world start flooding you with 3D printing questions. Then you can be like one of those ask columns in the newspaper. You can just be Ask Kraz, and it'll be like, oh, this really obscure problem happened to me while I was 3D printing, thing. And you can be like, I know exactly what you're talking about, and here's 10 different ways to solve that problem. Kraz is actually the one who I've been talking to about 3D printing some really neat terrain. And I mentioned that I thought it would be cool if I could have some airships to dock at this terrain, because it's got kind of like a futuristic spaceport from Montresor and Treasure Planet / Eberron Dungeons and Dragons vibe to it. So it could easily work for either 40K or Age of Sigmar. And I was thinking if I have a couple of airships and spaceships, I can just sort of change what's docked at the port, and hopefully that'll be enough tonal change for the terrain to make sense. It's a vision right now, but I want to kind of draw up a city with that terrain in mind and see how it looks in my brain, see how it would look on paper, and then hopefully, printers willing and patience of painting terrain being a thing, I'll get to see it in real life too. Yes, well, Kraz, you're already helping me bring my dream to life by, I've always wanted to have a little city, you know? So I'm excited about that. Yeah, absolutely. We're doing the city. Like, I'm all in. The city's happening. I've decided. Like, I've been hemming and hawing over what kind of terrain to get, but I feel good about that terrain. I liked what I saw. I can envision it set up. I think it's gonna look good. And it's gonna be different from just, like, medieval fantasy village number 5. So I think it's got, like, a mood to it. Yeah, do it. And then I will, we'll talk numbers. Feel free to message. Obviously, I'm streaming, so I can't, like, check it right now, but you just, you let me know how the maths out so I can get back to you about that. Yeah, but go ahead. That's happening. For sure. We'll figure out the logistics, but I need terrain anyway, so I'm on as well. How am I gonna paint it up? I only have the vaguest of ideas, but it's gonna be cool. It's also gonna give me an excuse to play BioShock again. Freaking love BioShock. Medieval Fantasy Village 5 is your favorite? That's fine, Josh. I'm not shitting on Medieval Fantasy Village number 5. I'm just saying I'm a weirdo, and I feel like I need something a little bit weirder in my house to be on permanent display than Fantasy Village number 5. I almost said Final Fantasy V Village, and that's a completely different string of words. Yeah, of course. Kickstarter, I understand the timeline of Kickstarters, don't worry about it. And it's like I could, finish some projects in that time to make way for my spaceport project. And we've got to name it. Like, I can't just call it the spaceport. I know Dana Howe has Howe City. Goobertown helped out that Canadian guy to make that big village, and I don't know if he ever named it, but we've got to name this village. 'Cause don't you dare think that any of those buildings are gonna be generic, once I'm through painting them. I want to find ways of hanging little signposts on them so that, like the shops will have some shop vibes. I have no idea how I'm gonna fill them with little shop inventories, and probably not, but, maybe I'll post little advertisements in the windows and things like that. I've got a vision. I can't, like, communicate that vision right now in proper words, but it's there. I need you to know that the vision is there, and it's gonna happen, and it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be really cool. Ooh, you can print and ship the freebie one so I can practice paint schemes? That would be awesome! I would love that. Thank you. That would be really useful, actually. Name it Totally Normal Generic Spaceport. Hashtag nothing happens here. I mean, I could do that. I don't think I'm going to, but I could. I'm not gonna name it anything that I would consider dumb, because, we all know how much I love making fun of these Star Wars names. So whatever I name it, it's gotta not be dumb. I guess I could just call it, like, Innsmouth and go for the H.P. Lovecraft reference, but again, I don't think I will. Could name it Yarnum after the village in Bloodborne so that everybody could know what a mega nerd I am for that game. If they didn't already. If my overwhelming collection of Bloodborne miniatures that I need to paint, maybe that's what I should do. Next on stream, I paint Bloodborne miniatures for the next 36 years. Hashtag one box at a time. There's 199 Bloodborne miniatures that I could be painting. 199. And, you know, to any normal person, that would stress them out. They'd be like, man, I got this huge pile of shame of miniatures that I gotta paint. But I just put those boxes in a different area and don't look at them every day. Doesn't stress me out. I don't think about them that often. I should. And one of my friends even wants to play, like, the Bloodborne board game. He's like, yeah, let's do it. So I really should paint them and finish them up so that they'll look good for that. But, I don't feel like learning all the rules to the Bloodborne board game right now. So we're focused on Townsfolk Tussle for a little bit. And Bloodborne will come around. I think I'm really excited about space right now, so it's a little harder to get into anything fantasy. But Bloodborne will have its day. I need to mix up more of this paint color, because we just don't have enough left. Hopefully I'll get something similar. I'm gonna put a little bit of black, a little bit of brown. I'm gonna have to buy more Mournfang Brown next time I'm at the hobby store. So much things that I must acquire next time I'm at the hobby store. And I'm gonna forget all of them. I always do. Do you know how many times I've been like, I need to pick up Primer? And then I'll go to the hobby store, and I'll be there for like 5 hours playing Warhammer, and at no point during those games will I be like, oh yeah, let me get that primer that I needed to get. I'll just not do that. Just forget entirely. Leave the hobby store, come back, be like, I feel like I was forgetting something. Yeah, dipshit, it was the primer that you've needed for 3 weeks now. It's happened. And it's happened more than once. I think maybe. And I'm just scooping out brown from this because, you know, if I'm buying a new pot of this paint, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what colors get mixed in. It's fine. You know, the funny thing is, like, I've painted one piece of, like, big terrain, I guess you'd call it. Like, it was a diorama. And everybody's like, just use cheap acrylics on dioramas. They don't matter. I tried to work with some cheap, like, apple barrel paint. It was so thin. I hated working with it. I gave up midway through and just switched back to my expensive GW paints. You're basing the flying squigs. Hell yeah. Hell the fuck yeah. I love those flying squigs. Their little wings, their little squiggy faces. Honestly, inspiring concept, flying squigs. Oh my gosh, there's so many. How am I out of room for places to put these again? This is a horde army, guys. There's no room. There's no room on my desk for all these little guys. Oh. Spent all that time mixing up paint. I could have been moving stuff. Okay, I think that some of the original bases that I painted, the base rim is dry. Touching it very gently and it appears dry. We're gonna say that it's dry. We're gonna call that good. Gonna set it aside to make room for more grots. Oh. The vulture turned out so cool. He's such a good centerpiece. I'm so glad I painted him shiny. I can't wait for my my hobby friends to see him at the Warhams this Sunday. They're gonna think he's so cool. I hope. It is nice, though, as I put all of the models on my desk, I am seeing, like, my army assembled for the first time. Like, fully done. It is powerfully cool to witness this. I've been working on, this is like my pandemic project. And before everything bad in my life happened all at once on top of each other, I was really determined that I wanted to win Best Painted in this Escalation League. And I wanted to have all of my units done, fully painted, with resin on their bases for a Soda Swamp. All of it, like, with all the detail, as much effort as I wanted. And painting these base rims, that is finalizing that goal that I've had for months. And months. And with each little grot, we're getting closer. There's only there's like 2 decent handfuls of grots now, but it's an achievable amount of grots to paint the base rims for. It's gonna get done tonight, and I'm gonna see this army actually finished together for the first time. That's crazy. I guess my actual last step, aside from painting the Bolt Boys, is I'm gonna write all their names on the underside of their bases, but that doesn't really affect the appearance of the Horde. They just look cool as hell right now. Like, I can't communicate it to you, because, like, I'm looking at it, and it's not on the camera yet, but these are my guys. Sorry. I don't mean to get so weird, but, this is really cool. This is really cool. Been working towards, if you've ever hit a goal that you've been working towards for a real long time, then you'll probably understand. I don't often meet a lot of my long-term goals. I have problems following through on long-term plans, so anything long-term that I actually do see through to the end, that's a good day. That's pretty cool. And I guess I technically can't call them done until those last 3 Bolt Boys are painted, but I know what it looks like now to have a full 2,000 point army, and it looks fucking cool. I guess I have always seen the pictures, in the codexes and White Dwarf, but it's always somebody else's scheme. It's not my scheme. It's not my guys, the way I'd paint them. But this is 2,000 points of a candy army. That is something I've never seen before. Frankly, it's something that I think everybody should see. And again, probably. I should keep painting candy armies if they look this cool. Ooh, that does make me wonder if it should be a candy spaceport as opposed to a regular spaceport. I don't think I'll make it a candy spaceport. I do want a table full of candy terrain at some point, but that to me is more Medieval Village number 5, but made out of candy, not spaceport. don't know why those things are different in my head, and like why one feels okay but the other doesn't. Couldn't tell you. Worst comes to worst, I can just buy a ton of that plastic play food for children, dump it out and be like, yep, this is the fucking trash heap that my ice cream orcs live in on their planet of food. That's Warhammer. That's grimdark right there. Let's see your space marines fight my orcs for a plastic waffle. That's the kind of thrilling combat people in this hobby need. It's to the point where I'm so used to looking at these cruel boys being yellow and these hobgrots being red, I forget that they're actually not those colors in the lore. I see their pictures in the codex and I'm like, those aren't right. No, those are right, Fives. You just made a funny colored army. Your army had a bit of a trip getting here. Still more hobgrots, though. If I thought the barrel of orcs were never ending, grots just keep on coming and coming and coming. Which is not at all how it works in-game, because they keep failing their leadership tests. They have no morale. You're negotiating your first sponsored review on your blog? That's awesome! Kraz, that's fantastic. I know I'm gonna feel like a big shot if I ever get offered a sponsored anything on this channel. I don't know if I'll say yes to it. We already know my feelings about Amazon. Those are well documented. But like if, what is it, like Titan Forge sometimes used to have mini painters review their stuff, or I don't know, one of those other ones, Warp Fire minis, a couple others. Cobra mode is cool as hell. I'd probably say yes to Cobra mode. This guy's little knife broke off, but that's okay. Honestly, for hobgrots, if their weapons or something like that breaks, I'm just like, yep, it's fine. I fully believe that a hobgrot would carry a broken little shiv into battle. And it's my own fault for tossing them into a box with no concern for their well-being. I really can't be mad at my minis for having an issue here or there when I do not ensure that they will be okay. I need to upgrade my transport system real bad, real soon. Because now that I see them all together, I'm like, yeah, no, these are cool and should be protected and valued as a complete army and set. And, you know, some small parts of me think about the day where I am gone of this earth and don't have this army anymore. I just hope whoever gets this army appreciates all the work that went into it. They're free to strip it and repaint it and stuff like that, but I want them to know that this was my project for quite some time. I don't remember the day that the Dominion box came out, but I literally started paying these orcs like 4 days after Dominion launched. So I've been working on them for a good minute. I don't know if it's been a full year, because I don't know how long Dominion's been out. Should have kept track of that, but I haven't. I'm sure I've got some flyer or something that says it somewhere. I used to remember it pretty decently off the top of my head because I was looking forward to that day so much so I could purchase my orcs. But, like all numbers, it was in my head at one point and then it left forever. I just got no head for numbers. Got maybe a dozen, maybe less. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9 Hobgrots left to do the base rims for, and then we're all done base rim painting. And then I can show you what havoc we have wrought. It's an impressive amount of havoc. Cry havoc and let slip the grots of war. That's how the saying should go. Because this army don't got no dogs, but it sure as hell got grots. Don't got no squigs neither, which I don't know how I feel about. All orcs should have squigs. They stated on Facebook, well, you have the block, you know, that's fair. I'm sure people approach miniatures companies and they're like, hey, I have this YouTube channel where I could talk about your product. And then that product is like, yeah, sure, I would love to be featured on your YouTube channel. I guess I could have done that with the Spaceport guys, but I don't feel like my channel's a big enough flex that I can do that yet. Not yet. Do I need some squigs? No. There are no rules for squigs with, like, there's no squig cruel boy combo in the rules as of yet. Which is tragic. To me, who loves squigs. I got some squigs lying around though. I love the bomb squig for Kill Team. He's in my display cabinet. I got him all painted up. He looks good. Painted him like a little caramel apple. Gotta protect the minis. Absolutely. Yep. Things I should do. But you know, sometimes I'm a lazy hobbyist. There are no rules for flying squigs, but that didn't stop you. That's true. That's true. These guys are gonna be in an official tournament though, so I kind of had to prioritize what's in the rules so that, you know, I wouldn't show up and be like, these are my really cool ideas that I had, and they're like, you can't use any of those. Be like, fine, sir, I guess you don't like fun. And they'd be like, well, we are literally here to organize a tournament with coherent rules for everybody. And I'd be like, yeah, I guess that's fair. So as cool as flying squigs are, can't just shove them into a list like I'd like to. Plus, I mean, me personally, I don't have any flying squigs yet. I have not made any. I like the commitment, though, that you would just be like, yeah, I have flying squigs. I dare you to tell me that I don't. 3rd of July release date. Okay. Well, it's February now. So, yeah, not quite a year. Because that was, what, 2021? July 3rd, 2021 that they would have come out? So I haven't been working on these for a full year, but I've been working on them for a good long time, you know? That's not an insignificant amount of time. I don't know if it's more or less impressive that done this within less than a year, but I'm about to put a lot of finished models on my count for 2021. Because I was like, nope, until the bases are finished, I can't count them as finished models. But everything's base is finished now. So I get to add 65 models to the amount that I've completed this year. We're going from 2 to 65 plus 2. 67. That's a lot. Yet? I haven't done what yet? That yet scares me. What is that in reference to? Oh, this is the last one in the box! Holy fuck yeah! Alright, little guy. Let's get your base rim fitted. You got a good old crust and a resin in there. That's, not ideal. That's not too good. Or is that, you mean, that's all I've finished yet this year is those soon-to-be 67. I've been keeping track, because I'd like to see how many minis I can paint within a year. This'll put me on a strong start, but I don't have quite as many work-in-progress things that I can just finish off. Oh, goodness. There they are. Alright, hang on. Let me rearrange some things. I gotta flex for just a second. I'm so sorry. This isn't usually like me, but it is also not every day that you get to see something like this. This is pretty special. You guys are here with me for the moment, so you don't get a choice but to see this. But to see the madness in action. It's beautiful. This is Alright guys, let me show you what we got here. This is the army right there. You can see them all. Got most of the top of the desk filled. Going a bit closer so you can see the troll guy in the back and tons of hobgrots and some orcs back there. We've got the sludge raker beast. We've got, of course, the crowning glory, that big old vulture. A whole mess of guys in front too. That is a lot of them, yeah. Look at them! They're invaded my table. There's no way to... Oh. There's the lads. There's the boys. That's the team. 7 months. 7 months of work. That's all of them. Oh. And I mean, he turned out so good. So good. Sorry, I know, I'm lingering on these shots for forever. And I'll do a proper Army showcase video, because how could I not? But that's... I mean, 7 months of work. These are results, dang it. These are results. I worked so hard, and I didn't fail. I kept to my goal. I'm really proud of myself and this army. They look cool. They're weird. They're great. They're all candy themed. That's what a candy army looks like, dang it. Whew. That's glorious, yeah. Yeah. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't proud. There's something. Oh, they're so cool. They're so cool. Ah, sponsorship yet true. Maybe one day we can hope. Oh, shit, that's not even everything. I left out my general. I left out my war boss. He's in the cabinet. How could I forget about you? Sorry, reshoot. Hang on. Roll back that footage. We're not done yet. We got one more guy that we can put in here. Gonna rearrange a thing or two. Forget that. Strike that. There we go. Okay. Reshoot. There, with the war boss in the center there. There we go. That's not even all the Cruel Boys that I own. I still have some, like, random guys from the Dominion box that didn't fit into a list. I got, like, some Killabosses, some Merc Knobs, that kind of thing. But yeah, now we got the boss on the beast back there. Right, that's all of them. That's all of them. You finished 2? Well, you know, I had most of these, like, partially done. It was just the bases that I was waiting on. So. Oh, shit. Dropped my phone. We're good. Sorry I threw you guys across to the other side of the desk. I'm trying to put you back in the little vise that holds my phone. Sorry about that. So don't feel too bad. Most of these were pretty much all the way done except for the basing. But I hadn't counted them as finished yet because I hadn't done the bases. Frankly, now that they're done, like, what do I do? I know I have other projects, but what do I do? It does feel good. Feels real good. The only problem is there's too many boys for me to scoop them up all in my arms and hug them. Tell them they did a good job. Little rascals. They've done such a good job. And it was really fun that I got to paint a lot of them on stream with you guys here to witness me. I don't always have people around, so that was pretty cool. Could work on this guy more, could work on the snake lady more, but honestly, there's some part of me that just wants to stare at my own army for hours like some kind of ultra nerd and take it all. How lame is that? I know, that sounds so dumb. You can't judge me for it too harshly. I think anybody would want to look at 7 months of work for a little bit. Just revel in it. That's fine. That banner can be a little bit dirty. I ain't mad about it. I ain't mad about it. Thanks for tolerating that. That little bit of flaunting. I couldn't help it. I really couldn't. I'm so sorry. it's, you know. I need a candy space. I don't think I'm gonna do a candy spaceport. As cool as it would be to paint it all up like candy, I think that it just won't quite be the vibe that I want. Which is weird to say, but for a candy village, I really do want like traditional medieval style village with the little Tudor kind of cottages and stuff like that. I don't know why. That just feels right to me. For the spaceport, I'm gonna go with something a little bit classier than candy. But it will have a candy shop or an ice cream parlor or something like that. Never you fear. There'll still be that touch of whimsy everywhere. But I think it would be really fun to be able to use this for Eberron for D&D. That setting, I've always wanted to have an excuse to run an Eberron campaign. Having a cool spaceport full of airships, I don't think there could be a better excuse in the book than that. Like, that's just gonna be cool. And it'll work for Warhammer games and Age of Sigmar games and anything else building this little village. So, yeah. Candy Village, that'll come someday. I'm sure that'll... Sorry, I keep looking up at my army and grinning like an idiot. I didn't know how it would feel to finish a project. Turns out it feels pretty damn sweet. I'm not entirely certain I'll be able to accomplish anything else tonight. I keep getting distracted. Things to do. I'm sorry, I did give you projects. I feel bad for putting other stuff on your plate. That is, you know, not paint. Oh, gosh. Sorry. I thought I'd be sick of painting Cruel Boys, but now I kind of want to add a little Merc Knob in here, a little Kill Boss in there. They'll be good singular projects to go back to, you know, and just have those little moments of, yeah, I just want to paint an orc or something like that, or I have a really good idea for how he could look. It's not like these would ever be featured in an... They're not even good enough to be featured in an issue of White Dwarf or anything like that. But goddamn if they aren't mine. Is that my full list for Adepticon? Yeah, it is my full Adepticon list -3. So this is over 1,500 points. So for my Escalation League, I needed 1,500 points for the final Escalation tier. And for Adepticon, I need 2,000. But, like, the boss on the Beast, for instance, is too many points. And, like, I think I have an extra unit of Hobgrots that's over the point value I need. So those 2 units being over, plus 3 more Bolt Boys, is enough to take me up to the 2,000 that I need for Adepticon. And, that'll push me into the 2,000 point. I think it's like technically 1,990, but it's as close as I can get without having to either buy another unit of Hobgrots and paint them all before the tournament, or buying another unit of Gut Rippers and doing the same thing. Which isn't undoable, but it's also... I mean, as much as, like, my heart right now is caught by how cool all of this looks, I need to paint something for a while that isn't Cruel Boys. But I really wanted to make sure that I got these done in time to have them ready for judging the painting contest for my Escalation League. Now they will be. I did it. That was a goal I had long before I planned to go to the tournament. back when I started this in July, I was like, I'm gonna make sure that by the end of the Escalation League, I have a fully painted, like, 1,500 points. And I have, as of today, achieved that. It happened. This army's been painted in 2 different living spaces and some wildly different states of mind, and it almost feels like I was a completely different person at the start of this painting project than at the end of it. So the fact that I was able to get it done is huge for me. Yeah, this is a lot. This is cool as hell. And to know that, you know, I only have 3 more models to paint and then 2,000 is ready to go, that's also good. Because I can knock those 3 out on, like, a weekend or something. Or just, you know, if I feel like painting on another stream. Showing you guys once again the same color scheme that you've already seen for orcs, then I can do that pretty easily. But, you know, I can't not feel like this is special. I can definitely help you build a list for Cities of Sigmar. Yeah, that's not a problem. I can't guarantee that, like, I'm not a great list builder strategy-wise. Like, I'm not the kind of person who's gonna sit there and read the stats to know, like, what the best combinations are and what... Because I don't have the city's battle tome or war scroll. What's the fucking... What do they call them? Battle scroll? Whatever they call the books for Age of Sigmar. I can't fucking remember. I go by 40k terms and call them codexes, which is not right. I don't have the codex for Cities of Sigmar. I think it's a battle tome. I'm pretty sure it's a battle tome. I'm glad I'm making you smile. I'm glad someone else is sharing in the joy of this moment. But yeah, I can definitely help you out with your cities list. I think probably what's best is for me to, like, walk you through how to build a list, I guess. Kind of telling you, like, this is why you put this in your army. Like, I don't need to explain to you the concept of infantry. I'm sure you understand what an infantry is just fine, but I can be like, yeah, Warhammer kind of requires you to have this amount of infantry. I got gold paint on my little blanket here, my duvet that I live under for painting and hanging out in my house. Trying to open these Turbo Dork paints after the top has been crusted up with paint is never a pleasant experience, and I will have shiny gold on me for the rest of time. That's fine. I dropped something that I probably needed on the floor, did I? I felt like it fell. But I have the cap thing there, and I have that thing there. So I don't know what I could have dropped. Probably the little circle thing that goes around the paint bottle. I don't know why I bothered wiping my fingers off when I'm gonna have to pry my little unclogging tool. Generic, all-purpose sculpting tool that does everything that I need it to do. What was I even getting this? Oh, I was gonna paint the helmet on the guy. I don't even know where I was squeezing out that gold paint, but I'll just can get a little dip. There we go. That's way more than I needed, so we're gonna paint a lot of gold on this guy, apparently. That's fine. He doesn't care. He's an orc. He'll be happy with whatever. This is fine. I'm not mad, don't worry. But yeah, I can definitely help you with your city's army. I usually start my armies by just going, like, what looks cool? And I almost always pick infantry first. I'm like, because that's what I'm going to have to paint the most of, because I tend I tend to lean towards horde armies. So if I don't like how the infantry looks, there's no point in me picking up the army. I will never paint it, you know? Because with me, even when I'm trying to not choose a horde army, it never works. I always fucking pick a horde army. There's just something about having lots of little dudes. It's like, yeah, I could have one powerful unit that does a bunch of stuff, but hear me out. What if I had 200 goons? Just some funny little goons. I'm gonna pick the goons every time. So, yeah, but we can definitely build your list. It's probably smarter to do that because I know you're kind of concerned about the cost of things for Cities of Sigmar. And a way smarter way than how I play Warhammer, which is to just buy things and then fit them into a list later and inevitably end up with stuff I don't need. As you can see, I mean, Dominion was a great deal for the box, but I definitely have units in that box that I just do not have in my list, and it's potentially will never see an actual game, ever. They'll just be nice little accessories for me to have in my army. But, like, you can change your list if you want. You don't have to keep the same list forever, and if merc knobs suddenly become the new hot thing in the meta, you can change it. I don't know if this was obvious from my tone, but I do not chase the meta. I don't buy what's most powerful because they can just issue a rules update and suddenly the thing you bought 20 of because it was good at the time is just kind of middling now, and it's like, well, I don't even like how this looks. I just bought it because it would steamroll my opponent. But I don't really play super competitively. I know that's funny to say when I'm like, yeah, I'm going to a tournament to see how good I can play the Warhams. But I bought Cruel Boys not because they were the best or strongest or coolest. I mean, they are the coolest, don't get me wrong. They're obviously the coolest army, and I will not take criticism or feedback. But I bought them because I liked them, and I liked how they looked, and I wanted to paint all of the gut rippers. I thought their scare shields were cool as hell, and they are cool as hell, and I just thought they'd be fun to paint, and they were fun to paint. Painting those scare shields was like the most fun part of the entire process, so I wasn't wrong about any of it, and yeah. So I always go with infantry first, but if you see something like cities-wise and you're just like, oh man, that tank thing looks really cool, I gotta have that in my army, like you can build a list around, oh, what'll work good with tanks. There's an app you should know about called Battle Scribe. It has all of the stat blocks for all of the Warhammer armies, and is very good for list building because it will give you the point costs. However, as someone new to probably list building, I'm guessing, I don't know if you've played games where you've had to build army lists before, and I don't want to assume, but I was new to list building, and using Battle Scribe for the first time was confusing as hell. I didn't understand what I was supposed to be doing. And I figured it out, so that definitely means that you can, but having someone there to explain it certainly helps. I've had, as long as you listen to my explanation, because I've had people in the past who are like, oh, help me build a Warhammer army. I need to learn how to play Warhammer, because I think it would be cool. And then I try and teach them how to use the list builder thing, and they're like, that's confusing, just do it for me. And I'm like, okay, well, I could have either A, built you a list, or B, taught you how to use the thing. If you just want me to build you a list, like, I can do that. But if you ask me to build you a second list, I'm going to be like, well then, why didn't you just listen when I offered to teach you how to use the list building thing? List building is hard the first couple of times you do it. But it does get easier. Took me forever to learn. And I'm not the best at it, but it is doable. And if a freaking nerd like me can figure it out, you definitely can. There's also, like, worst comes to worst, you can just Google list for this faction tournament, and people will post their tournament lists. And, like, they might not be the most strategic forever, but generally for the year and time that they were made, they're pretty good. Like, I know what I would have to put into my Cruel Boys list to make it super competitive, and I just don't want to, because, I don't like the units that much. Hey, painting the stuff that you're intimidated to paint is how you get to be a better painter. And I would know because I was scared as hell to paint that vulture, but he's, like, so cool. Before I started streaming, I never finished a centerpiece model. And now I've finished, like, 3 of the big guys. Yeah, if you had a list, you'd plan your budget around it and grow. That's a good thing to do. To plan your budget around a list that's a smart, that's a big brain move. As one of my friends would say, that's a pro gamer move. My friends always joke because I'm not very good at video games. I'm usually the one who is like, wait, what are we doing again? And is turned the opposite direction and shooting the wrong thing, which is great. But in terms of tabletop games, I've probably played the most out of any of us in that little friend group. So they joke about me being a pro gamer, like a pro video gamer, but I'm like, I'm literally the one going to an event for tabletop games. So it's funny because, like, not in a genuine sense, but in some small sense, that's a little bit of a pro gamer move right there to be going to a tournament. So I think it's funny. But yeah, we can definitely budget around and grow your list around whatever for Cities of Sigmar. You just let me know. Probably not tonight. Tonight's not a good night for me to list build because I've been streaming for 2 hours and probably am gonna go for a little bit longer, but then I'm gonna get tired and watch the Clone Wars or Disenchanted before going to bed. I know, my life's so freaking exciting. But I do actually have to, like, my tech issues presumably got fixed today, so I have to, suck it up and do my job for put in a good day's work tomorrow, which will be fine. It's a Friday. Can't be that difficult. Hopefully it's not that difficult. Is Cities expensive to collect? I haven't done any research into it. I just know they have some cool models. Just finished. How's it going? It's going real good. I finished painting all of the base rims that I had to paint, and I got to see, like, my Cruel Boys army kind of sat out and assembled and ready to go for the first time, and I got a little emotional about it, if I'm honest. Because it's only missing 3 Bolt Boys right now. Like, that's the last thing I have to paint to have a full 2,000 points ready to go. And that's, like, it doesn't really detract from the spectacle of it looking like a finished army. So, yeah, it's, it's sitting on the top of my desk right now because all the bases are drying, and every time I look up at it, I just want to cry. I'm so proud of it. I know that's such a dorky thing to say, to be proud of your Warhammer army, but I've been working on painting this since July, so, Kraz was kind enough to do the math for me and figure out that that's 7 months that I've been working on this army, and to see it all in this glory ready to go. I've never had an army that big before. It looks so cool. I'm so happy. Probably do a bit of freehand just to flex on this guy, but he's basically done. My friend didn't give me any specifics, and he doesn't have like a high standard that he needs things painted to, so I like to flex on these models because he does my assembly for me, and then I don't have to do it, so I need to keep him happy, so he'll keep making that trade offer of painting for assembly, but I don't have to flex on this if I don't want to. But I do think we could use some swirls, some freehand, like a happy orc face on the back of this. We could do some fun things. You might 3D print a Seraphim army too. Gaining funds. Yes, compare 3D to bought. Definitely. That would be cool. You've shown me some of the Seraphim at your disposal, so for sure I'd be interested in seeing that. I have a feeling the 3D printed one is gonna end up cheaper. Like if I were a betting person, I would say that 3D prints will end up much cheaper than Army from GW. Gonna try and flex a bit and just paint a little orc face. I think I should have like 40,000 orc transfer sheets lying around because I always have a million of those suckers. Yeah, let's see what we got. Can kind of copy a design. Okay, so we got the horns. Gotta have a little head. Put some eyes in later. I don't know if the camera will pick up what I'm doing or not, but just gonna freehand this orc face on here. I could use a transfer sheet, but that would take me setting up a whole fucking transfer thing. I don't feel like doing that right now. I could just paint. Just use my skills as a freehander, at least to try. We'll just clean that up a little bit once the paint's done drying, and we'll see how we did. Maybe add in some details with some pink. Clean up the edges a little bit. Keep eyeballing the fish elves. Idnet Deepkin, they're pretty sweet. I think I finally decided what I'm gonna do with my my bits of admech that I've got lying around. I've got some sulfur hounds. I think I've made the decision that I'm gonna sell them. Cause I'm never gonna paint the rest of that admech army. I'm happy to have what I do have for display. I think they're cool. But I don't want to paint admech anymore, so I'm just gonna try and resell the new in plastic admech that I have. So hopefully someone out there wants to buy some admech. If you do, I'll be putting some up for sale soon. Sadly, they're not fish elves, so I can't intrigue you, Jeremy, but maybe somebody out there wants some admech. I'm getting some real weird, like, Nicktoons Scooby-Doo vibes from this guy. I'm not mad about it. Maybe it's just the color palette I chose. That's fine. You're not dorky. You're all interested in this hobby. Thank you. I appreciate that. Do you want to see them? Do you want to? Chris and Jeremy, you haven't seen them yet. So if you want to see the army, it's sitting. I can change the camera angle real quick, and I can show you if you want to see it. It's right there. I can show you. Just let me know if you want to check it out. I won't pressure you. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Let me just put some eyes and a nose in this guy's little face, and yeah. Okay. We'll highlight some of the teeth and a little bit of pink. 70% off in March. Smart. Smart. Awesome. Okay. 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 So, just picture that there are 3 more Bolt Boys than there are, okay? Because I just, you know, I don't have them yet, but... I mean, I own them, but I haven't painted them yet, so... That'll change, slightly, the vibe. But only slightly. But, here's the full army. That's my, basically 2,000 points. Cruel Boys. We've got, like, this squad here... I don't have them fully divided up by units either, but you know, we got those guys. We got the big vulture guy, and he's got the resin on his base. Got all these guys, and got that guy. Got all the grots and the troll and the zebra cake guy. We got them. This is the boys. This is the lads. Got the swamp caller shaman and the pot grot. We got Hector cheering me on. We got a Hector. But yeah, those are... That's the army, guys. We did it. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I'm overjoyed, honestly, that I managed to pull this one off. Was dubious for a while. Yeah. Hector's here, of course. Lobster's around. They like to hang out. They know that painting time I'm gonna sit in one spot for a while. It's a huge accomplishment. Yeah, I basically started this army in July, the month before August, when a bunch of stuff in my life that wasn't very fun happened. And in July, I kind of made a goal for myself that I wanted to have a fully painted 1,500 points by the end of the Escalation League, so that I could go for Best Painted. That's what I wanted to try for. And I really wanted to not compromise. I wanted to do my best that I could do on my guys. I wanted to... you know, spend a lot of time on them. And I did. I did that thing that I had set out to do. I followed through and finished a project, which doesn't always happen for me. Hi, Hector. I know. I know, baby. You want some attention? You want some attention? Yeah, but despite all the stuff that happened to me in my life, I managed to accomplish that goal. In time for the tournament. The tournament is in March. So the Escalation League, I need to have 1,500 points finished. And I have well over that. Because, like, I think my 1,500 point list is like 3 units of Gut Rippas, a unit of Hobgrots, my giant guy, my Snatcher boss, my vulture guy, and 3 Bolt Boys. But then I have, like, a whole extra unit of Hobgrots. I've got the Killer Boss on Giant Gash Tooth, and I've got, those are, like, the extras that I have left over. So all I need to paint to, like, get it to 2,000 points is I need to paint 3 more Bolt Boys, which I own. I just have to actually paint up, and then that'll be the finished, like, 2,000 point list for the big official tournament that I'm going to. So, yeah. We're basically there. Just gotta do 3 more models, and then, you know, that's the official 2,000 points. Which is still, I mean, that's pretty crazy to only have 3 models left. Basically, this is what the army looks like. And I mean, I have a couple odd other Cruel Boys models scattered throughout. Like I've got some Kilobosses, some Merc Knobs, stuff like that. Just, you know, from the Dominion boxes that I still haven't painted. So I could paint those up and add them in. I'm not sure if they'd make the final list, but it would be fun just for aesthetic purposes to have some more variety. But painting 3 models before the end of next month, that's easily done. As long as I don't procrastinate and put it off for too long, I should be able to accomplish that with no major hiccups. So I'm very optimistic about having my army painted to what is literally the best of my current ability for that tournament. And then onwards to bigger and better things. Or just different things. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to beat the concept of Candy Cruel Boys anytime soon. But, Neapolitan might give it a run for its money. Or whatever Necromunda project I end up trying out. Or this spaceport city that I want to paint up. Or, you know. Don't think that I'm done with crazy army concepts and weird ideas, because that's pretty much all I got in terms of content. All weird all the time. Usually some candy themes in there, too. So, you know, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. I don't even know what I'm doing. I just have freedom on this model to do freehand if I want, so I can. That's both a blessing and a curse, as I will literally cover everything with freehand for no reason. I just want it to be special. Tau when? Tau soon! I'm literally going to the game store this Sunday, and I'm gonna look at the Tau. I'm gonna see what Tau they have. I don't know if I'm gonna buy any Tau, because I might be like, I don't like the Tau that you have in stock. I'll just buy pre-assembled Tau from some rando on the internet. By the way, if you're a rando on the internet who wants to sell me Tau for a deal, I would love to talk Tau. I don't think anyone in this chat has mentioned that they're trying to liquidate some Tau. But if you're hiding, if you're lurking there, I want your Tau. Give them to me. Not really. Not really. I'll buy them. But yeah. Tau is gonna happen. You got offered a Tau Combat Patrol, couldn't afford it in past. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. The only reason I'm investing in Tau and spaceports and other stuff is because got a little extra money in the old tax return. Uncle Sam was like, you little child can have Tau this month. Listen, are there similarities between anime battlesuits and Tau? Sure. Absolutely. Does that mean you're a weeb if you play Tau? No. Oh, you're not guaranteed. People will make jokes, but, like, you can just like Tau. That's fine. Those designs are popular and have appeal because they're good designs. People like them. And you can paint your Tau to look like Constructicons from Transformers the movie if you want to. And then people will be like, is that a fucking Constructicon? And you can be like, yes sir, it is. Heck, don't eat the flowers. I don't know why we have to go over this. I'm having somebody over tomorrow. I'm trying to make it look nice. Got flowers, and you're just Tearing up the place. Christ, Hector. You try and make your house all clean and appealing to the eye, and then your cats just destroy everything. 100%. You're total weeb, but so is Tao. If you got them, it'd be I don't know what macross is. I'm so sorry. Maybe I'm not cool enough, or maybe I'm not a weeb enough to know what that is, but I don't. I'm sure it's cool. Heck, I can hear you in those flowers. Why are you in the flowers? Trying to make this house look nice. Get off of there. Yeah. Sorry about him. You're taking away my anime pass? Listen, I watch some anime, but I hardly watch all anime. And mecha anime is like definitely the subgenre that I've watched the least of. There's so many popular anime that I haven't seen because I'm super picky about what I watch, and if it doesn't capture my attention, I just won't. So, feel free to take that away. I'll be here with my obscure favorites, and I don't care. My choices are valid, damn it. Yeah. That looks pretty good. I'll slap a wash on the skin. Or just Seraphim Sepia all over later. Or I'll highlight the skin. Do what I want. I don't know what I'm going to do with him just yet, if I'm being honest. So I might be done for the night. Because I don't quite know where I want to take this. But he's looking good. And I'm going to be spending some time putting my army away. There's quite a few of them. Finish one model, need to do two more, and you're done with the set. That's not bad. You might get Tao eventually to play Grimdark Future with. I would love to see how you paint them up. Paint them up as Farsight Enclave. Okay, that sounds cool. General Farsight seems like an interesting character. I don't know too much of like the Tao lore just yet. I'm still kind of getting acquainted with it. You know, which is fine. Oh, I get to clean up from a big project too. Get to put there. I mean, I know I'll have to paint these Bolt Boys soon, but there's almost inevitably going to be projects in between now and Bolt Boys, so I might as well get the desk tidied up a bit. I hope by taking away my anime pass, Chris, you don't mean my pass to watch anime. You just mean my pass to call myself a fan of anime. Which I can accept that. But if you're saying I can't watch no more anime, then we gonna come to blows. Because I ain't finished Jujutsu Kaisen yet, and I need to know how that ends. I still need to eventually watch the final season of Haikyuu. Figure out what happens to my volleyball boys. What else am I waiting for? What other anime do I care about right now? There are others, I swear. Oh, snap. Flowers? Oh, yeah. Got flowers in the house. I like, you know, home decor is nice. Making your house look nice is nice, and I like to entertain now that I have my own space to do so. I have someone coming over tomorrow, so I'm like, yeah, I'll get some flowers, I'll make it look nice, I'll try and not have messes everywhere, you know, just making the house a home. Unfortunately, I have these hooligan cats who like to eat everything. So, yeah, it's hard to keep flowers in the house. I like them, though. Even with my cats being the worst and trying to destroy everything. It's a battle that we fight, and I'm content to lose, but, you know, I still try. I still put in a bit of an effort. You can hear him talking back to me, I'm sure. That's green, that goes over there. I have this sorted by warm and cool colors, because I'm just like, yeah, that's how I'm going to organize my hobby desk. Just to get them for your wife until she said no more. The cat eat them. Can't have houseplants either. Yeah. Everybody's like, you should get a houseplant. I'm like, that's just a sacrifice to a cat god at that point. There's no living with houseplants. Definitely nothing that's toxic to cats. I mean, I get, like, my favorite flowers are, they're just, carnations, so they're super cheap anyway. Oh, geez, I just stepped in something on something. It's cold. Really hope that is a cable and not paint of some form. It is a cable. Okay, we're good. We're good. Yeah, but there's no winning when it comes to cats and houseplants. That is a losing battle. Solidly one that the cats are going to win. So there's almost no point in trying. I'm now going to attempt to put all of my Cruel Boys models into the display case. We'll see if I can actually fit them all in here. This is stuff I have to do anyway, so might as well pad out the runtime of this this stream, so to speak, by doing it. Get you a little bit more content while I put away my miniatures projects. Love that there's just my shadow moving in and out of frame. Gotta run. Have a great night. You have a great night too, Chris. Thanks for popping in. I hope your game went well. Meant to say that and forgot. Alright. Probably I can't track the chat and also put these miniatures away. So I think I'm just going to do the mature thing and call it a night from here. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. See you in the next one.